Emily was utterly exhausted. Every night, her neighbor's radio filled her tiny apartment with relentless noise. It wasn't just sound, it seeped into her thoughts, rattling her focus and stealing her sleep. She tried everything. Earplugs, burying her head in pillows, even politely asking her neighbor to turn it down, but nothing worked. Every night was the same exhausting cycle. One evening, as she sat at her cluttered desk surrounded by textbooks, tangled wires, and half-finished gadgets, a wave of frustration washed over her. Yet, something inside whispered not to give up. Emily wasn't just a victim of noise. She was a problem solver, a tinkerer, a lover of electronics. She pulled out her old notebooks, sketching circuit diagrams and jotting down radio frequencies. She scribbled notes in the margins, calculated numbers, and tried to predict how different signals would interact. Night after night, she immersed herself in this secret world, escaping the noise, letting her mind run free across waves and circuits. Weeks passed. After numerous trials, experiments, and rewrites of her designs, Emily finally completed a strange device. Wires twisted around blinking indicators, looking more like a gadget from a sci-fi lab than something meant for her small apartment, but it was meticulously built for one purpose: to counter her neighbor's radio. The next morning, the neighbor's music blared as usual. But Emily didn't panic. She flipped the switch. Silence. For the first time in weeks, she laughed. Relief poured through her, light and freeing. But Emily didn't stop there. 2 days later, she added a twist, a high-pitched tone. The next time the neighbor blasted his music, the radio shrieked painfully, forcing him to retreat. He gave up. Weeks went by. Peace returned. Emily sat by her window, sipping coffee, watching sunlight drift across the room and leaves sway gently in the breeze. She had won, not with anger, not with complaints, but with her mind, her skills, and just a touch of defiance. Her apartment became a sanctuary, a place where she could think, create, and breathe. Every chirping bird, every rustle of wind reminded her of her victory, of turning frustration into power. Emily was no longer a young woman forced to endure chaos. She had become a symbol of patience, intelligence, and determination. She had proven what a focused mind could achieve, even in the face of incessant noise. One evening, she returned to her desk, a fresh notebook open, pen in hand, jotting down ideas for future projects. She smiled quietly. Silence wasn't just the absence of sound, it was a canvas for imagination, a stage for creativity, and her private time to live on her terms. Emily knew challenges would arise again. But now she was ready. She had discovered that her true power wasn't in circuits or devices. It was in her mind, her creativity, and her unwavering determination not to surrender.